Greetings. Ano?
Hello, everybody.
Hello, good day to you all. Or baka night also, no? Good night.
Welcome to
Oo.
Go Kalakas.
Ating mga
Yes.
kasama. Palagi tayong sinubaybayan. Maraming salamat.
Mm-mm.
Kahit na papano, meron pa rin tayong COVID.
Alam ko meron pa rin tayong show.
Naku, let's not take this lightly. I went to Manila, sabi nga nung isa sa akin. Bakit ka nakamask? Hindi na uso yan. Sabi ko, ano na uso? COVID.
Kaya wag niyo ipagkaila at saka baliwalain. Minsan parang
Dumadami na naman
meron
ka.
kasi mga nakalusot na almost magti 3 years na wala silang
Oo.
COVID. Pero bigla ngayon, nagbitaw,
Nag-relax.
relax.
Nagkaroon, oo.
Ngayon lang
Ingat pa
nagkakaroon.
rin
May mga
tayo.
kaibigan kaming ganon.
Kaibigan.
Kami nga, bandang huli pa eh. September kaming dalawa nagkaroon eh.
Oo,
Yeah.
September.
Oo.
So,
Kaya-
let's continue to be vigilant,
Vigilant,
about that. oo.
alam nyo, you can never,
Talaga ang mask.
And watch out for chikungunya ngayon naman yan.
you cannot
dumadami.
underestimate that how it will really affect you, especially those
Term
may long-term
effects, oo.
effect for those who are in the senior years or even,
Yeah.
for 40 and above, huwag yung baliwalain kasi may, talaga siya, may long-term effect.
Oo.
But anyway, siyempre baka alam niyo ba, sa panahon natin ngayon, the whole world, mapapansin natin na yung world is quite toxic eh. Do you notice that?
Yes.
Everywhere there's smog in
Napulso
the
na ang
air,
ating
there's
air, land, water.
it's so, sometimes we take it for granted, we become so jaded ang word, yung parang manhid na tayo, natanggapin natin yung ganyan.
Illusion.
Oh, wag kayo porque nakatira kayo sa ibang bansa, kunyari maganda yung lugar niyo, wag lang talagang nasa mga lugar na maraming natural forest. But even then, it can be very deceiving. Like in America, for example, you start to see how America seems to be so comfortable. But many times, a friend of mine just recently told me that he had a cousin who's only 54 years old.
Mhm.
She's successful, talagang kumbaga US-based, successful in whatever, in the field that they,
Business. Oo.
business and whatever they got themselves into. Alam nyo, now she's on her last, na siya, her death throes na. And my friend just told me, una pancreatic, ganito. Kanina sinabi niya, buong katawan na.
Nagmetastasite na.
Kalat na. And this person is not someone that you would always think, wala yung kakayahan sa Medicare or cannot afford to eat really good food and nutritious food. And the choice of where they live, maganda yung mga lugar nila, yung ganyan. But yet, at 54 years old, that's still, kumbaga, you got a lot of years to go, but a lot of them, and many of them, according to my friend, ganyan, wow, my generation too, yung mga 50s. Ito yung hinaharap namin. Sabi ko, we live in a very toxic condition.
Alam mo yung
Toxic
toxic
talaga.
world sinasabi mo, I just read in the news na yung a woman who lost her peripheral vision, kumbaga nagkaroon ng develop ng partial blindness, dahil they found out in her house, they tested high levels of mercury. Pati sa blood ng mga bata, yung mga anak, ganon. At saka dun sa woman na yon, dahil ang nakita nila, tinest nila yung whitening cream.
Oh my gosh. Ang dami pa man ang gumagamit niyan.
Yun ang high mercury.
Yeah,
Yes.
kaya that's why we're discussing this, no? It has to do with, today is, a day we should be remembering
Yeah, it's the International Day for the people with disabilities.
with disability.
Oo. So why? That's what you're trying to bring up?
Yeah,
Why
kasi
they are having disabilities?
Close to, according to figures, almost 1 billion people.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's like, wow.
Isang bansa na yun.
1
di
billion
ba?
people around the
The
world
world
Parang,
have disabilities.
have disability. Kaya, when you,
And 80% of those are here in developing countries.
yeah, that means Southeast Asia, Philippines, Africa, mga ganyan, South America.
And usually yung developing countries nga ang may problema sa mga pollution, ano?
Yes, kasi
Oo.
nandiyan yung restrictions nila, hindi masyadong
tight.
tight.
Oo.
Oo.
Hindi ka mumultahin masyado or parang pinababayaan lang dahil yung mga resources at yung mga kinakailangan to keep the economy moving. They compromise on agreements and laws of the nature.
Kahit nga yung mga dinadump na mga pesticides na
Right.
banned in other countries,
So,
dito nila ipapasa, di ba?
So when you hear these numbers, kasi on the end of the day, wow, 1 billion.
that's
That's
a
a lot of
people. Yeah. In fact, they said, for example, sa women, 1 in every 5 women will experience disability in their lifetime. And 1 in every 10 children already have disabilities. So when we talk about people with disabilities, napakadami po nitong mga tao na to. No?
So we're not just thinking of those who are, may mga kapansanan like blind or cannot hear,
Yes.
or meron silang polio or kung ano man, hindi ba, may
Yeah.
physical handicap sila.
Oo.
But actually, this builds on as we go through life.
Oo, plus kasi meron talagang 2 divisions ang disabilities. Merong physical and then there is the mental. No?
Oo.
So, for example, sa physical, of course, yung visually impaired, hearing impaired, orthopedically impaired, or other, maybe they have a cleft palate or hair lip, no?
Oo.
These are considered disabilities. Then there also in sa mental naman na disability, yung merong kasali dyan yung improved na yung mental state niya, pero hindi pa rin thoroughly okay.
Sama ba?
But there's also the mentally retarded,
Yung autism, at saka yung
autistic,
mga Down
yes,
syndrome.
and attention deficit disorder.
Oo.
Yeah, and the ADHD, which is another
ADHD.
version
Oo.
also of the
Dami-dami.
attention deficit, no? So yung mga mental yung kanilang disability, yan yung hindi masyadong obvious, no, sa atin. It's not like you see somebody who is crippled on a wheelchair, then you think, oh yeah, disabled yan. Yung mga iba, they're kind of like hidden because it's not necessarily known
Oo.
that a person has psychosocial disability.
Oo.
No?
Oo.
And also, by the time there's a sector of our society which comprises almost 45% of the population, depending kung nasaan kayo. Kasi may mga lugar, aging population yung mga bansa
Yeah, a lot
Those
of
who
the
are-
old also become
Yeah,
disabled.
they're
But yun, di ba maraming yung pag na-stroke ba?
Yes,
Kasama
kasali
yan,
yun.
di ba?
plus,
Impaired din yung mental,
Right.
impaired
Both.
din yung physical.
plus kaya nga, di ba,
Oo.
we're told,
Kasali
okay,
siya.
dito kunyari, sa mga police, sa mga military, at the age of 56, automatic retirement ka na,
Oo.
whether you're still strong or whether
like it or not.
it's
Oo.
automatic kasi it has to do with the field of their work, yung nature ng work nila.
Siyempre, stressful din
Yeah,
ginagawa
so-
nila.
Capacity to, to do things rin.
Yeah, kasi that means you cannot make decisions. Pag sundalo ka, yung processing ng decision-making process mo, affected kasi you deal with the lives of
Oo,
your soldiers.
That situation.
Saka baka yung vision, pag bumaril, hindi na masyadong
Oo nga,
mataas yung
baka-
Tapos pag tumakbo, hindi rin
Hindi na
makakakita.
Kaya nga meron sila tinatawag na yung regular physical fitness test
Oo.
that all officers and men
Mhm.
have to undergo.
Mhm.
They have to do it every year. May mga physical sila test. Simply because to determine to be able to perform in your work.
Yes,
Performance,
that specific
ability,
Yeah.
and
job,
capacity. Oo.
Now,
Okay.
speaking of jobs, that's one thing that's why we're bringing attention to the disabled. Kasi a lot of them, in the society, meron pa rin, kakulangan sa pag-include sa mga persons with disability. For example, in a family, let's say in a developing country, and there's a child who is maybe mentally disabled, no? So, di ba, they end up, hindi na nila pinapaaral yung batang yun.
Oo.
So, kulang sila sa sa education. So that automatically also compromises them when it comes to getting a job, being independent,
Oo.
so they're excluded, no, in so many ways. So we're trying to show that look, there are these people and they have their needs. They have their human rights.
Yeah, their potential also.
Yes, oo.
And to maximize their capacity, di ba,
Yes,
to
oo.
function and to contribute to
Yes.
society. Kasi syempre tayong lahat, we experience by nature the happiness in being able to serve and to share with people.
And to be
There are
functional,
interact, you know,
yes,
so-
To
oo.
interact,
It's,
di ba?
it's a society. That's why the interaction has to
May
be.
disability, sabihin, ay, diyan ka na lang sa kwarto. Huwag ka
Yeah.
Huwag ka na lumabas.
Huwag na natin ipakita sa iba kasi
Yes.
O kaya minsan parang,
Stigma pa rin, no?
ay,
Hanggang
parang, ay, pakakainin ka lang namin at babahayi ka lang namin. May mga ganon eh.
Oo.
Pero really,
Minsan it's the families who end up abusing or exploiting the person with disability, you know, which is a very heartbreaking situation, but it does happen, no?
Oo.
So we need to all come together and try to help and make sure that those with disabilities get their fair share of the, you know, I mean, they have their human
Yeah.
rights, no?
Yeah.
see, there are those who are disabled because sometimes it's during birth.
Oo.
Yeah.
The birth. Tapos may mga disabilities naman dahil na aksidente.
Yes,
Oo.
maraming ang ganoon.
Maraming ganon eh.
Oo. It's not
So-
necessarily
Or
something you're
sakit.
born
Sometimes
with.
ngayon sa
Nakasakit.
COVID, may long-term
Yes.
COVID,
Oo.
napakaroon na
Yes.
nadidisability.
O kaya nagkaroon ng sakit ng bata, di ba?
Polio.
Yeah.
Oo. O kaya yung mga, di ba, yung mga habang bata ka tapos nagkaroon ka ng very high fever, tapos yung mga nabubulag,
They get measles usually.
Yeah, measles, yeah.
Oo, they become visually
Impaired.
impaired.
so there's so many of this, no? Plus there are those also,
Even
Kasi-
hearing impairment now, no? Mga mahilig sa mga music na sobrang lakas
Ay,
yung
oo.
kanilang earphones.
Oo.
They ruin their ears. So
kasi
they
pag sinabi nyo,
Hearing impairment.
let's define disability. And then what's the opposite of disability?
Able.
kulang nga.
Able
Hindi
body.
mo ano.
So you're able-bodied, no?
Oo.
So it only means that we cannot take measure or be discriminating just because a person with limited or has a disability doesn't make him a whole person. Kung mag-aantingin mo, hindi na whole person yan.
Oo.
Ganito na lang yan. But performance-wise,
Mm-mm.
given the opportunity, you will find those who have disability and can still function, and given that opportunity to function, you will find whatever shortcomings they have or whatever disability they have, they set that aside and try to deliver.
Mm.
Yeah, given the accessibility, the access to learning and skill building,
Oo.
they can actually
Oo.
do so much. Kasi after all, we're all equal. Ang hindi lang equal minsan, yung ang ability ng katawan natin.
Oo.
Diba?
Actually, meron nagsabi sa akin, in one of the leading universities, they would like to hire yung mga mute na mga tao, no? Because tahimik daw pag nagtatrabaho sa computer. Hindi
Focus siguro
walang
sila.
chismisan and
Mhm.
everything because
Hindi sila marites. So,
talk and be making gossip like that. So parang it becomes even an advantage in that sense, hindi ba?
Ito nga, may mga nababasa ako mga kwento of, you know, in the Ukraine war and the Ukraine and Russian war. Kasi the Ukrainians felt, this is our land. Why is the Russians invading it, you know? And taking away their freedom to make decisions. Alam mo, mayroon mga grupo na mga disabled people. Yung pala, ang gagaling nila sa electronics.
oh yeah.
Sila yung nag-assemble ng mga drones. Sila yung ginawa sila yung naka-figure out ng many things. Doon sila nakakatulong kasi fini-figure out na, oh, ito. Sila yung nakakaisip.
Oo.
So you see, everybody has a place under the sun. See, that's the point.
And we don't know how good they are unless we give them the chance to show it.
Even in the
also, yeah.
situation where may digmaan. Normally, pag sinabi yung digmaan, yung disabled, hindi ka nakasali.
Oo.
Disqualified.
Yeah. But they can help in so many ways. No?
So they saw the society itself saw wow, these guys are contributing on something
Yes.
that's really important because it will save a lot of people's lives.
Oo.
Yun ang sabi nila.
Oo.
The work of this group who are disabled,
Nakatulong.
figuring things out and, you know, kasi hindi sila makalakad, ganun yung kwento eh.
Oo.
Pero they can still make full use of their hands, yung mga ganon. Figure things out, they're smart, inaayos nila.
Yeah.
So ito, figure out nila, then they just get feedbacks.
Oo.
Okay, ganito. So they're being recognized.
Oo.
for their efforts.
Actually, marami naman mga disabled people throughout history who have been greatly inspiring.
Mm-mm.
And that they have also, kumbaga sila rin ang cause kung bakit nagkaroon ng changes and improvement. So, parang si Helen Keller, di ba?
Yes. So,
Her story is so classic na as a child, parang talaga siyang lost in the world, kumbaga in the darkness, no? But when a teacher, gumawa ng paraan para
she was,
maka-communicate.
di ba she was born normal baby, but
Mhm.
nagkasakit siya.
Oo.
Oo. So, nawala yung hearing niya
Oo.
and her sight.
Sight,
And
yes.
even she couldn't really speak because she
Mm.
couldn't hear well. Oo.
Pero yun nga, dahil meron mga tao na make it possible to reach out to these people, and in this, Helen Keller became a very inspiring person.
Yes,
Hindi
yes.
ba?
And she was very
Ma-
fluent in her language,
Talagang
beautiful.
siya,
So she did it in other
leader,
ways.
naging leader siya, pinakinggan siya ng mga presidente, yung mga leaders in society. Kumbaga yung makikita natin, hey, this person has so much to give, hindi ba? To
Yes.
share with people.
Like everybody else.
There it's all about not using such disability. Kasi you can just say, okay, I'm like this, so I'm just gonna be like this na lang.
Oo.
Yeah.
You know?
That's why nga we need to learn to respect them
Mhm.
as individuals, just like everybody else, no? So that kasi nga ang nangyayari a lot of the times the problems with people with disability is that the society that is not accepting
Oo.
them,
Oo.
then they're so limited and sometimes they are looked down upon, they're discriminated against, they even be abused, exploited, subject to violence.
Oo.
No, just like we know someone, she's legally blind, and she and her friends who are blind, they're often victims of theft.
Oo.
No, ninanakawan sila kasi syempre they don't see the person coming to
Oo.
get their stuff, no? So this is an example of what the difficulties that they go
Merong
through.
isang person with disability, sinabi niya, it is not that we are expected in life to succeed.
Mhm.
If we are only expected to do our best.
Mm-mm.
Hindi ba? Kasi iba-iba yung levels of sabihin mong success for a person, hindi ba? Pero kung ito yung best mo, then you're good, you know?
Yeah.
Di ba narating mo yung pinaka-maximum mo,
Yeah.
which to another person, sabihin, bagal-bagal mo naman dyan. Kung wala kang mga legs, but you are trying your best to move forward, then you are actually successful in your
Yes, even now,
And there's
now
such a
that we are aware also of like mental health issues, right? One of the advice nga that they give is that, your best can fluctuate depending on the situation. Like my today's best might not be as good as my yesterday's best. Because today I woke up and I don't feel well, but I'm still able to do something. No? So we have to also understand that, physically or mentally, sometimes we have a different level of best
Yes.
for that time, no?
Saka, people who has disability, we share the same elements.
Oo.
We share everything. They can still function in many ways, So they should not be set aside or sabihin mo, wag na, hanggang dito na lang kayo. No, you should not. And let's also discuss a few things. See, when you talk about 1 billion people who are disabled,
Ang dami.
there are disabilities that have not been caused by something that you were born with
Yes.
or nagkaroon ka ng sakit.
Mm-mm.
But it can be caused by your lifestyle,
Oo nga.
a way of
Yun.
life.
Yeah, halimbawa,
This is the one.
ka, no?
This is the one that's common. Kasi, for example, di ba, palaging pinupush natin, alaga ng sarili, alaga ng isip,
Oo,
alaga
self-care.
ng environment. Alam nyo, pag kanina inumpisa natin to, kunyari, ang environment kasi natin is very toxic. So, hindi mapapagkaila na talagang marami sa atin, magkakaroon tayo ng kapansanan na hindi natin inaasahan dahil konektado doon sa environment natin. Kaya importante, pag tayo nag-uusap tungkol sa kapakanan ng sarili natin, tawan, isip, at saka mga kapakanan ng ating pamilya, kaibigan, at komunidad, yung environment ang dapat ibinabago at inaayos.
Mm.
Kasi, for example, di ba, sa ating society, di ba may mga tao na mapagsamantala sila.
Yeah.
O kaya may mga tao naman na, di ba, nagkakaroon tayo ng crime, yung mga criminalistic activities of people.
Mhm.
How did such a person come to that point? That you're not thinking on the right, reasonable perspective.
Oo, attitude, problem,
Diba?
or
May ganun eh.
value.
Yung values mo
Wrong
medyo
values.
corrupted or whatever.
Oo.
Yeah. Ngayon, so there are times when we try to cure the ill na nangyayari sa ganon, that when a person engages in such activity, don't you think it disables the person from functioning in a society? Kasi when you talk about disability, minsan iniisip mo palagi yung may kapansanan.
Hindi physical.
So, di ba kahit
May
yung mga
mental
drug addicts na
disability.
hindi maka-function or yung
Right.
mga alcoholics,
Alcoholics, ang dami-dami niyan.
they
Nga
are
eh.
disabled to a degree, hindi
Yes.
ba?
They are disabled.
Kasali yun mga
That's why
social
psychosocial naman yun eh.
Hindi maraming.
Marami. Kaya
kasali talaga
we should not be
yan.
looking only of the physical side of things. But there's this, because here's a person, no matter what, he's able-bodied, cannot function in the society because
Yes.
of certain difficulties that he's encountering,
Yeah.
acceptance of certain norms in the society that makes him so that you're part of the society.
Oo.
You know? So, alam nyo,
Kaya nga may mental.
katulad din sa sakit ng
psychosocial.
katawan natin, di ba? Kunyari, hindi, balikan natin yung ano muna, mamaya na yun.
Mm.
Kunyari, sa disability ng ganito mga tao, for example, hindi ba, if they're terrorists or criminals, what do you do with them?
You lock them up if
You
you
lock
can.
them up, you shoot them,
Where
you
they
kill
cannot
them,
harm others.
right, where they cannot cause
First, they
problem.
need to be assessed kasi.
Yeah,
You have to know.
Ang punto kasi
Oo.
dito, ganito. Kasi minsan, husgahan natin kagad sila. Ay, ikaw, terorista, ikaw, ganito.
Na-label na.
Na-label na.
Oo.
Ang punto rito, for as long as there's something in the environment of the society we live in that harbors this type of mentality,
Mm.
right? So,
The type you're talking about is the terroristic type or anything
basta
that's
yung mga
not
criminalistic
socially okay.
Yeah, kasi ang
Or
mangyayari yan,
accepted, oo.
there's a flaw in the society in general. Eh.
Yung environment.
Right, the environment itself.
Whether it's your
Maybe it's the
city
culture,
or
it
yes.
really, it's
Right.
sectarian belief, hindi
Yes.
ba?
Or,
crooked drinking,
right, even in this, kunyari,
lack of values.
there are places here in the Philippines where pag sinabi mong, oh, tundo yan. Sa tundo.
Or they have a bad
What brings,
attitude about that. Oo.
di ba? Or, taga-squatters yan. Or,
Oo.
may mga ganun ka
Labeling
kagad.
agad. Oo.
So, immediately, ang punto dyan, ay, yung mga tao galing sa ganyan, ganito yan eh. Kasi yung environment nila ganito eh. So, it's the one causing them to be the way they are. And they accept that as something that's norm.
So,
It
bali
has to
mga
do with-
prejudice, discriminatory.
Yes.
Na,
But,
yan ang mga yan.
Alam mo,
Meron na kagad silang idea.
titingnan
na-
natin in a holistic view.
Mm.
Ang punto ganito, whatever is, if the environment will nurture such a situation, hindi niya maaalis yung ganyang uring mga tao. Kasi it's in the environment eh,
In the society.
in the society.
Oo.
Yun nandun yung problema. Kunyari,
Kaya nga kailangan ayusin lahat.
Ayusin.
Dapat lahat tayo kasali dito. That we will not just put down somebody because you see they have a disability, di ba? Kasi dapat tulungan lalo.
o kunyari, sa sakit, kunyari, di ba, mga heart attack, stroke, diabetes.
Halimbawa,
Or-
remember yung
Hindi.
HIV
Okay,
na
mga,
ano agad,
mga ganyan yung,
discriminate agad.
yung ganyang uring sakit.
Mm.
Di ba? Preventable kasi lahat yan eh.
Yes.
Pero what brought about that situation, and hindi lang isa o dalawa, kung hindi,
Marami.
a huge chunk of the society.
Oo.
Kanya sa Pilipinas, almost 13 million ano, 13 million. Ang dami nun. Kasi
Ang dami.
has
Ano yun,
diabetes.
13 million yun? O, diabetes.
Has diabetes.
Oo.
Or at least, malapit na maging diabetes. Meron dyan, full-blown diabetes. At least
3 diabetes.
7 to 8 million, parang ganun eh. Ganun yung figure nila. So, wow. So, how do you cure that?
Wait, sandali. Bakit pala sila lahat napunta sa ganung sitwasyon na naging diabetic? Ano ba
Kaya,
yung sa
May
culture
bad
natin ba yan?
lifestyle.
Meron tayong
ayun.
culture?
Kaya nga,
Yeah, the way we eat.
for as long as you
That we
don't,
love to eat.
for as long as you don't correct,
Natin as ano yung ibig sabihin ng masarap na pagkain, hindi
Oo.
ba?
Ayun nga.
The concept of what is nice,
Yes,
diba?
yes.
Maraming,
It's more of what is nice kesa what is healthy.
maraming sugar,
Right.
matamis na matamis.
it tastes good eh.
Lagi nagpa-party eh dito.
Plus,
Everything we do may
yung
food.
mantika, yung ano,
Yung
mas merong ano,
Sa
yung-
mantika.
Oo, yung gusto nila yung merong taba. Yun yung,
Lechon. Oh.
chicharon.
kaya, for as long as you have that situation,
The family problem.
You will
eh.
always
It's the
have-
same thing.
you will always have, parang sa terrorist nga eh. Kahit patay ka ng patay ng terrorist, patayin mo lahat yung mga yan. For as long as you don't clear up the whole
The problem.
cause of the
Very
problem,
cost.
the real cause of that,
Meron pa rin.
magkakaroon pa rin.
Oo.
Continuous.
Oo.
Continuous.
May
So,
ganun nga.
we have to hit the problem at its root.
Yes, kasi,
Oo, para hindi na
ano yan eh,
lagi natin
This-
hinaharap.
in a society that becomes, you're a cause, parang, you disable the society directly.
Ayun na. Mm-mm.
We
Pati
promote it.
society.
The society promotes it, you know, yung
Yes.
mga, sige, maghahanda tayo. Ito, may leche flan, merong tong salad,
O
at
kaya-
mga cake, lahat. Yun ang concept,
O kaya,
you
o
know.
kaya, kunyari, ano,
Idea of what's happening
Yeah.
kasi
oo,
is
Kunyari,
the problem.
was ka ng internet mo.
Hmm.
Internet games. Yung mga bata lang.
Wala na, hindi na kumain, hindi na matutulog,
Di ba?
hindi na mag-aaral.
Ano yung ginagawa nun?
Anong
Minamold.
disability, anong disability ang aabutin ng mga
Lahat
pagganyan?
disabled.
The puntos doon.
Yung ginagawa.
You see, for as long as that is an acceptable norm, that's okay for them to engage in those activities. Kasi it's just gaming naman eh.
That's what they think. But
Recreation.
it sucks
Oo nga.
all their time and
But yung
energy.
punto ron,
Oo.
di ba,
Teka,
makikita
pag
mo,
sinabi mong recreation, first dapat may work. And then may recreation. Eh sa gaming, wala nang work. Yun na lang at yun.
di ba, for example, di ba in the US, ano ba yan? Something like 660 cases of
660 cases.
in the last year.
Oh.
Yung ano, shooting sa mga eskwelahan.
Yeah, mass shooting.
Mass shooting. 660 mass shooting. It's like
Mhm.
unbelievable in the whole world. Sila raw ang record setter.
Oo.
So,
Grabe.
paano nagkakaroon ng ganon? So you have to really check it out. Kasi here's a society that's supposed to be so wealthy,
Oo, sila daw yung guardian of the world.
right? Yet
Pero,
you will have
Hello, look at your own
660
backyard.
mass shooting happening. Hindi pa tapos yung taon.
Tapos sa schools, pag ginagawa, yung
Sa schools ginagawa.
binabaril.
O kaya nandun sa mga lugar na resto where the families are, ng mga restaurants. Or sa Walmart, yung shopping
Yeah,
malls.
shopping areas.
Ganon. It's not like it happened in a particular place na, oh, that area is the crime
Mm.
area of the city.
No, it happens all over, anywhere, at
Yeah.
random.
So that's why when you start to see this,
Tama kami, disabled societies na, hindi lang individuals.
kasi it becomes
Oh my God, it's a big problem.
really, I mean, we always look at the other ones, yung mga putulin ganito, putol, but well, we do
They
have
have the least
members of our
problems.
society. We have members of our society who's totally in a warped situation.
Hindi na makaisip kung ano yung tama.
There's no more reasoning and rhyme and reason to what they do.
Disabled thinking.
And then,
Ayan.
when you look at the actions that they are performing, saan ka ba matututo? Bata ka pa lang, 18 years old, 16, or high school ka pa lang. Kukuha ka ng baril ng tatay mo. Or
Or you buy your own.
you can buy your own.
Oo, very
mga
young,
ganon.
you can buy your own.
Resourceful ka na sa ganon na bagay. Pero, it's for the intent to harm others.
Mm-mm.
So,
Napanood
Talagang
rin
gali.
nila, napanood rin
Eh,
nila
kasi
sa
sa
mga
gaming,
Oh,
may ganun
okay.
eh.
gaming,
Isa pa yon.
oh,
May isang angulo rin.
Sa
oh,
gaming
Isa naman
mismo.
na angulo yung ganito. Kunyari, you're a civil servant. That means you're to be working for people,
Ikaw
working for the
dapat yung
people.
protector.
Public,
Mm-mm.
okay? Or not even just, not the armed services.
Or
Even in the civil society itself,
Mhm.
you will find, there are those who become, because of, they're so greedy and they're
corrupted na.
corrupted. You could cause the same suffering
Maybe even
or
worse.
even worse because of
Mhm.
your own doing. For example, nakikita natin ngayon, there's so many people who are very smart and they're educated and then they make decisions. The
Ayun,
decisions
kasi
they make, oops,
kawawa yung iba.
years later or immediate result of their actions
Mm-mm.
make it so there's inflation.
Yeah, people are suffering from their
And then,
decisions.
you see, who got us to there? Kasi we're always going, oh yeah, iboto natin ito. Oh yeah, it will carry us better and such and such. Then they would start saying, oh, because of Ukraine. Oh, because of COVID. Oh,
Lahat na lang
because of this.
binding.
Oh, because of that. We're not
Yung pala, mabigat na yung bulsa
we're not
nila.
anti-political here. We're just saying, when you talk about disabilities,
Marami yan.
it's broad eh.
Oo.
There's so many components to it eh.
hindi
Kasi,
na 1 billion, dagdagan na natin yan.
kasi pag,
Mahirap bilangin. Ang daming
for example,
ganyan,
for example,
crooked thinking.
there's not all of, like now, we face climate change, right? The result of not good, sensitive leaderships. When you have climate change,
Malpractices.
when you have climate
This
change,
time.
that disables all of us.
Oo nga. Lahat nasisira eh. Mm-mm.
Mm.
And what's the cause? The simplest cause is this. One, we cannot stop burning oil, right?
Mhm.
We cannot stop cutting trees, right?
We can,
We
but
cannot
maraming
stop
ayaw.
creating, alam na natin na if I use chemical fertilizer, I'm going to destroy the earth that produces the food. I'm going to contaminate the water
Mm-mm.
Yeah, and the air and the
and everything
food.
else. But still, there's somebody else. Somebody is making a whole lot of money manufacturing all of these
Oo.
things, thinking that they're doing something good.
Everybody's thinking they're doing good for
So,
themselves lang, not for the rest of us.
that's why when you talk about these things, you start to actually disable your own society because you have disabled thinking.
Mm-mm.
Naku, paano natin
Kulang sa
naayusin ngayon yan?
wisdom.
Ayun
Kumbaga,
yun.
Yan na, pasok
kumbaga,
na kayo sa
isipin natin,
wisdom.
ano yan,
Kailangan na natin yan.
nabulag sila.
Ayan.
They are visually impaired.
Right.
Saka
Kasi
Yan ang matindi.
walang vision.
kahit
Yan,
na nakakakita
hindi
pero
impaired.
visually impaired sila because yung kanilang vision,
Covered yan.
sarili lang nila yung nakikita nila. Imbis na nakikita nila yung actions na kailangan mong gawin, we are by nature responsible for everything we do, we say, our actions. We're held responsible for it.
Mm.
But yet, because we lack on this proper consciousness to understand what that means and apply it in our life, such shortcomings is a disability for you to be able to live a full life.
Yeah.
Mm.
And when you don't live a full life, people around you will also suffer the same thing
Yeah.
because of the
Humahawa sa
consequence of
iyo
your
eh.
actions.
Oo.
So,
Okay,
Ako
time to
mag-share.
explain this.
Ako
Sige, mag wisdom. Give us the wisdom.
Words from a disabled person without hands and without feet. Si
Mm.
Nick Vujicic, no, he's a Polish but he lived in Australia. There's no point in being complete on the outside when you're broken in the inside.
Ayan.
Life
Wow.
isn't
Mm.
about having, it's about being. You could surround yourself with all that money can buy, and
Mm.
you'd still be as miserable as a human can be.
Mm.
I know people with perfect bodies who don't have half the happiness I've found. On my journeys, I've seen more joy in the slums of Mumbai and orphanages of Africa than in wealthy gated communities and on sprawling estates worth millions. Why is that? You'll find contentment when your talents and passion are completely engaged in full force. When you look for happiness in mere objects, they are never enough. Look around, look within. Okay?
Yan, look
So,
within.
yun ang ano natin.
Right, yun,
Malalim, ibig
yun
sabihin.
nga yung
no?
ano kasi bakit? You know, in modern world, the modern times,
Mm.
everybody is, kumbaga kahit anong sabihin ninyo, you look to Europe, you look to some places in Asia. I mean, there's always so much wealth
Mm-mm.
in the hands of many
Many
people.
things.
Even here in the Philippines,
Ganyan-ganyan ka lang
even here in the
ka-copy,
Philippines, sa
worthless.
ating bansa, makikita mo yan eh.
Mm-mm.
No matter what, compare it to, let's say, 50 years ago or 40 years ago.
Yeah.
Yung per capita income and what's being generated, facilities-wise, so many, you can see, there's more supposedly educated people today. Ang daming ganun eh.
It's so easy to shop.
Oo.
And so many things
So
to
many,
choose from, no?
yung,
Pero,
ano yan ma? Lazada, ano pa?
Shopee.
Shopee.
Oo.
Ano pa?
so many other
Ang
ways.
daming choices, hindi ba?
Oo.
Kasi kahit yung nag-COVID,
Ganun ka
kita
naman.
nyo, nag-COVID, kita nyo, ang dami kagad.
Hindi na magbayad, Gcash lang.
O, kita nyo, ang bilis makarami. Tapos meron palang e-commerce, meron pang ganito, meron pang gano'n. So yung mga transaction.
Marami pa rin hindi masaya.
Exactly.
Ay, naku.
Kaya, ngayon pa,
Kailangan look within talaga. Tama ang sabi niya, no?
kaya hanggang ngayon, nakikita ninyo, when I was discussing a lot of this, there's the ills of the society, for as long as you don't solve it, you don't go to the very root of the problem.
Yan.
It doesn't have anything to do whether you haven't been educated or you haven't had enough of the work that you get and income that you have. It's not that eh.
Oo.
Mm-mm.
Actually, the very issue is, akala nyo nandun lahat ng, kung ganyan, meron ako niyan, I'll be happy. Yung happiness ko, dyan nakatutok eh. So, nangyayari, yung sinasabi nga ng binasa ninyo, dumating, sa ilalim, dito nga sa atin, probinsya to. Kita nyo, mas maraming nakangiting mga bata rito pag naglalaro ng soccer, nakapaa pa.
Oo.
Magkaroon lang sila ng simpleng bola eh. Wala pa silang soccer.
Wala
Pitch.
silang sapatos.
Wala pang sapatos.
Oo.
Takbuhan na ng takbuhan. Laro
Masaya
ng laro.
Hanap pa
No.
sila.
Tapos, pag natapos ng games, nakaakbay sila, uwi pa sabay-sabay.
Or
Alam mo,
maligo sa ilog.
oh,
Or minsan
ano,
makikita mo sila nandoon sa puno. Kanya-kanyang branch, tawanan sila.
So, life is they live a very simple life, and yet they are fulfilled, they're content, they're
Yes.
happy, and because inside, they have, the happiness from within, hindi
Yeah,
ba?
and they have their friends.
Yeah, and
no?
also they're also very pious people,
they
they've
feel
been
love.
raised with spirituality and
or
faith in God,
in a way,
And they
it's about
each other.
alam niyo what it is? There's this nature of simplicity
Oo.
that we all have been
Maliit
gifted
na
with.
bagay lang, masaya ka na.
Right. You're satisfied from within. Ayun nga, that's what's missing. Kaya nga, no matter how ito nga yung sinasabi ko nung una eh, for as long as nandiyan yung cost ng sakit
Mm-mm.
at hindi nyo binabago yung environment, kunyari sa
Lang
sarili nating kapakanan ng katawan natin, yung health natin. For example, pag nag-junk food ka, hindi ka natulog, yung choices lang the way you live, right? Makikita mo.
Saka yung may sakit ka na, ayaw mong baguhin
Alam mo-
ginagawa mo.
Alam mo, hindi ka talaga gagaling.
Oo.
It
Ngayon,
gets worse.
talaga.
It gets worse.
Right. Ngayon, ang kailangan mo, yung envy mo, baguhin mo.
Yeah.
Isa-isahin mo ngayon yun. So definitely, your body will start to respond to it. Eating healthy, nutritious. Nag-exercise yan. Di ba? So, mahinahon na pag-iisip niyan. May mga
Yeah,
gano'n eh.
you'll be kalmado, you'll be mas
Meron
masayahin
sinabi
din.
nga pa yun si Nick Vujicic, sabi niya, you should never miss an opportunity to act upon your faith. You never know, because you could be the last person to influence someone, to give him courage, to inspire him. None of us know when our own time will come to move from this life to the next. That is why you should define your purpose in life. Decide what you know based on facts, as well as what you believe based on faith. Then take action to fulfill your purpose according to those convictions. You will never regret living that way. Okay, so
Mm.
yung
Take
happiness within
action,
you,
yun ang
ganda ng
kasabihan
oo.
natin sa
Hindi ba?
self-care.
Oo. Yung purpose of life, nakikita mo. Kaya kahit may disability, but if you see a higher purpose in your life,
Yeah.
you don't become frustrated.
And you don't feel I am disabled because you feel whole.
Saka you do what
You
you
feel
need
like-
to do to
Mm.
achieve your
Because you
goal.
also know you're the spiritual being within that disabled body.
The moment you-
Oo,
It's just
Ay.
parang damit lang
dress.
siya, no? Na after a while, mapunit-punit, di
Mm,
palitan.
The moment you
No
connect to
need to
that,
cry over it.
the false sense of labeling,
Yan.
which this world is full of, then definitely that is the cause of your own disability.
Oo.
You know, you cannot function right. Kasi yun yung cause ng disabilities mo unang-una. You're treading on something that is not strong.
Not a strong foundation.
Don't have a strong foundation.
It's
The
very
very-
shaky. Can fall through anytime.
See, the basis of how you see life, how you recognize life, how important life that you have right now is. You see, we have that intelligence to determine, to make the right choices in life.
Yes. Buhay! Naku, later after we finish talking, we hope that you can wait and listen to the song Buhay. This was made by a good friend of ours.
Meron na ba?
Daddy
Ready
Pa.
na ba yan?
No, we will include
you'll
it
play
at the
it.
end. Oo,
Oh.
para they can hear it. It's very wonderful, the message that he has given there.
Yes. And it makes a person understand na katawan ay damit lang sa paglalakbay. Pero ikaw yung nagbabiyahe. Ikaw
Oo,
yung
ikaw-
naglalakbay.
Ikaw yung
Ikaw
lumalakad.
yung katawan na yan,
Oo.
whether it is disabled or not,
Oo.
that's not you.
So yung true confidence, true self-esteem, yung true realization, self-realization means you understand your true beauty, your true nature being eternal. Tapos parang, wow, ano pala ako? Anak pala ako ng mayaman.
Yes.
Kasi yung tatay, pinakamayaman. So, ako
Saka ano yan?
hindi ako yagit.
Yeah. This
Yeah, we
is
all have a
eh.
home.
This is the what nga eh. In our own lives in this world, we have that choice. What kind of environment are you gonna are you gonna put yourself in and your family and the people you love?
Yeah,
It's
we
your choice,
actually
eh.
do have a choice.
Is it an environment that nurtures the very being from deep inside? Or is it an environment that will nurture this and, the false sense of who you think you are? Di ba? You have the choice. Now, when one is actually using his intelligence and reasoning, you're given that path to track it because there's things that occurs in your life that reminds you that there's something more in life than trying to feed myself and find happiness in this world. There's more.
Yes.
Anyone who is sensitive to this or anyone who is in that right reasoning, thinking, you will start to find, why am I doing this? Or why am I doing? You start to question. You become more inquisitive. You become more sensitive. Nakikita mo ngayon. So, tinatrack mo na yung buhay mo. And then at the end of the day, hindi ba, yung reasoning na you see everybody, like your grandpa, your grandma, mga kamag-anak nyo, they leave this world, but you don't see yourself leaving this world like they did.
We forget.
We forget, di ba?
Tayo'y mamamatay.
So these are things that happens. You want to live in illusion or you want to live in a realistic
No.
way of life. So ating mga kasama,
Ay, meron advertisement noon, sabi na, wise. Yung wise, hindi ba? Ganon din tayo, dapat maging wise tayo.
Yes. Kaya hindi tayo nagkukulang sa yung alam mo yung mga tamang asal, sa mga guidance, hindi tayo nagkukulang sa ganyan. Ang pagkukulang ay galing rin sa sarili natin. Yung kahinaan natin minsan na hindi natin matanggap kung ano yung talagang katotohanan. Kung nais kong maging bulag, kahit hindi ka bulag on a physical sense,
There are none so blind as those who will not see.
okay? Mangyayari sa buhay natin yun.
So
Marami.
enjoy the song Buhay.
Maraming salamat sa
Listen to
inyo.
the wonderful message.
Thank you.
Oh, ika'y nag-iisa sa buhay mo ngayon. Nag-iisip kung sino ka, yan ang iyong ang mga nakaraan ay iyong sinulyapan. Nakita mo ang mga damit na iyong iniwanan. Oh, ikaw ang tumingin. Ikaw ang buhay na tunay. Tignan, ikaw ang isip mo, katawan ay damit lang sa paglalakbay. Oh, ulan may pumatak, mundo may magbago. Ika'y hindi magbabago, buhay din ako. Mga mukha ng panahon ay iyong nasaksihan. Kung bakit ito'y nag-iiba at ika'y hindi naman. Oh, ikaw ang tumingin. Ikaw ang buhay na tunay. Tignan, ikaw ang isip mo, katawan ay damit lang sa paglalakbay. Ikaw ang isip mo, katawan ay damit lang sa paglalakbay.
Pangkalusugan, pangkalikasan, go para